All right, joined by Nick Tanner, former Rovers and Liverpool player. Nick, good to meet you, and good to see your book out.
Finally!
I mean, yeah, well, what made you write your book at this stage now?
When my dad passed away about 4 years ago, and we kept scrapbook, or Dad kept scrapbooks of all the time, and after he passed away, Mum sort of handed it back over to me, and they're obviously my recollection of my career and stuff like that. And you know what I'm like on social media. I posted a few pictures and stuff like that. Oh, look, great days. And everybody used to say, well, you tell that many stories and you've got that many good stories from football, why don't you write a book? Now, never in my wildest dreams did I think it'll come to this, that we'd actually have it published. But no, just mainly because of Dad, I suppose. It sort of spurred me on a bit to see all the hard work he put in.
And it's called From a Field to Anfield, and it literally did start in a field in Bristol.
Yeah, I played for Bromley Heath and Frampton Rangers as a young kid, as well as in the streets. Could have put the streets now as well, with a tennis ball and stuff like that, which kids have missed out on, in my opinion, now. And then I think in them days you used to just stay with your friends and play all the way through. I'd never played for City or Rovers or anything like that, so all the way up through, played with Phil Purnell, who ended up at Rovers with me, and I went to school with Phil at the Ridings as well, and we played together there. So it's a link in all the way through, and you know, it brings back happy memories when you look back at all the people, and you forget half the people you played with. I mean,
but there was no traditional route through.
No.
Academy-wise, you worked at Aerospace, and you played part-time, you played local football, and I guess a lot of the memories from that come through in the book.
Yeah, it's difficult because you lose touch with people, and you, like you said when I first came, do you know so-and-so, do you know, and I probably do, but I forgot them, and they probably think that's ignorant, but it's just your memory goes when you get older. And what I wanted to do with the book, and what Steve Cotton wanted to do as well, was write something not about, oh, in the 53rd minute I had a shot. You notice there's very little in there about the games, the build-up, etc., and after the games, but not, you know, because anybody can write a book like that. I know a couple of people,
who have.
One of them's Ian Rush, who at the end of it, when he was asked about Graham Souness's time, sort of said, well, Graham brought in players like Nick and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, no, Graham didn't bring me in. You know, I roomed with him a couple of times, which it surprised me that he didn't actually know the facts about it. So it's obviously somebody writing a book for him, and not him doing it himself. So I wanted to get right away from that, and just make it as fun as possible.
But people will recognise a lot of the names in the book from your early days. Paul Brittain, I know myself. He was at Aerospace with you, and Ralph at Mangotsfield. You just speak very highly of him.
I only realise afterwards when you're not there, and like they always say, when people aren't there, you always go, I know what he was talking about now, and I always say that to my players. You know, and some of the stuff that Ralph came out with, I've said after hearing all the stories about Shankly, he's like a non-league Shankly when you look at the ways he used to motivate people and what he used to do to sign players and different things like that. And he used to, Gary Penrose is put in there as well, he used to make you feel 10 foot tall. He used to shout at you in front of people and make you look about an inch tall. But privately, he would always big you up, never slag you off. I can't remember having one telling off one-on-one, yet in front of people he would, to get his point over. But then he would take you aside and then say, look, I've only said that for effect. Well, he said to me and to Penrose, as you'll see in the book, you'll go on to play for England, you two. Because when Gary put it resonated with me, and thought, he told me that. And his son, Dave, is on Facebook, and he put on there the other day, he's got a book now, and he's read it, and he said, I'm so proud that Dad was well liked like that. And it's that sort of thing, you go back, and the stories with Ralph, and Paul especially, because Paul was the integral part of signing all the players, and I worked at British Aerospace with him, and as I said, I used to get a piece of paper from my foreman, and I used to go down and see Paul and spend the afternoon chatting about football.
So it didn't work at all?
No, it didn't work, no. Like Paul said, we can have an hour off or so. But yeah, it was great, and that's where we played in the ID Trophy, where I can guarantee you, if you went down there after work, you would see most of the players that play for Mangotsfield who never worked for British Aerospace or Rolls-Royce playing for a department or something. What are you doing playing for them? I got an interview or something like that, a job interview. But
and then you actually graduated through the Mangotsfield, and then 4 of you, I think, went from Mangotsfield to Rovers, didn't you?
I think, well, we were chatting again, memory goes, 3 of us actually went, me and Gary went first. This Phil Purnell was telling us at the Graham Souness, and then I went, and then Gary Smart went afterwards, but he'd already been at Bristol City, I think. So Gary joined us afterwards. But yeah, so there's 3 of us there, and then Mike Cooper signed from them, and also Steve White as well played for Mangotsfield.
That's right, yeah, he did, yeah.
So it's like that, and you think, how can all them players sign in? No, nobody else. So, but yeah, it's an amazing story, and like I said, it helped Rovers being in the position they were in when they didn't have any money. I can remember Harold taking training with his. We used to go training on a night when we were part time on the old AstroTurf down by the driving range. When it was AstroTurf, nobody's ever heard of it. And Harold used to stand with his fag in the back of his hand, and he'd put a ball out of his feet, and it'd be on your head every time, and it'd be like, wow, this man's amazing. You know, his little fag.
Hard times for Rovers. Hand to mouth, wasn't it?
Well, this is what we said to somebody the other day. Where the golf driving range was, there were fields over the back that people forget about. So when people were training, there was little porta cabins like they got now. Roy Dolan used to have a little gym in there, and in his room where everybody was frightened to death to go in because Roy was massive. And then round the back, there was another field. And if you had to use that, you knew you were in trouble because there was other people training away. And I went round there once, and no word of a lie, there was a 12-foot plank, the big ones, about that way. And it was nailed to the top of the goal mouth, so it was slanting off the back of the goal, and we were training into that, and the grass was bad. But you coped. You just got on with it and coped.
And you were being paid to play football?
Yeah.
And you had that camaraderie, that team spirit everyone talks about, which is vital for most times.
You couldn't have done it without it. We had our scraps. I had a fallout with Jock, and everybody had a fallout with Robbie Turner, but I can remember one training session, I don't think he's in the book, but if you didn't get in the team, Bobby used to name the team on a Friday, and then you'd do pattern of play like you do now, but you would do defending free kicks, and Jeff Twentyman was marking Robbie, and I always remember Robbie just smashed, and Jeff's got a big nose, but he smashed it all across his face, and everybody's going, oh my God. And it was like that, do you know what I mean? Because he wasn't playing, he was so frustrated, and you think, and then everybody steamed into Robbie. So there were ups and downs, which there are everywhere. Yeah. But
you had the characters there.
You'd shake hands, you get up, and you go and have a beer after the game and stuff like that, and you try and work it out because you were all in the same boat. You know.
And you mentioned Bobby Gould, the Gouldfather, I think you call him.
Yeah, and, he calls himself that.
well, fair enough. And then you had Ray Kendall behind the scenes as well. And you can tell some stories about him.
Well, Ray, we used to wind Ray up because we always used to go to Magaluf and stuff on holiday. And we went one year, and it's in there. We actually borrowed the kit to go, the shirt. So we used to wind Ray up. Oh, you'll be all right. One of us keep him chatting, and the others go and get the short. You can't have that. That's the first team kit. Well, I'll be all right for it. So he used to take all the kit, and he used to let us. But his stories were legendary, and some of the laughs we used to have with him. Him and Roy could have had their own TV show. They were that funny. You go in there, and you couldn't help but laugh. I can honestly remember, I can't ever remember going in to training and it being solemn and everybody's down in the dumps. Could Ray would walk in, hello lads, how are you? He'd be, oh, that's all right, get back up again. But he used to get everybody to mess him around with the kit and stuff like that.
And his culinary skills as well. You told me about the microwave toast.
I don't think that was his idea. He just got roped into it. Again, it was cost cutting, and we had a Peter Carroll coach, I think, with a microwave on. Nobody's ever heard of a microwave, I don't think, even in the houses and that. And the idea was to save money, was to cook the toast beforehand at the training ground, put it on the coach, and then we'd have it tea and toast, and we stopped in a lay-by. And when you, obviously now everybody knows you put it in the microwave, it just goes like mush. Nobody could butter it because the butter was very hard. I'd honestly like to think, ask somebody what game it was and how we got on, because it proves about preparation and stuff. And the funniest thing about that story was the supporters coach reversing down the hard shoulder, I think it was, and they, are you all okay? We thought we broke down. So the embarrassment of the supporters coming back to try and get us.
But what strikes me about the book, it's an enjoyable story, and it's not a serious one about games you played and what have you said. But at the end of each chapter, or most chapters, there's a comment by someone you played with, and I just think it's great that that's included in the book.
Yeah, well, I can remember half of it, and like I said to you before, I don't care what anybody says, if they can remember some of the things, and bearing in mind back in them days, we all used to have a few beers and stuff. So when you say, what happened in this, you go, did that happen? And then you laugh. When I spoke to Ian Weston about a few stories, can you remember this? Without saying what was in there, and he would comment, and he put some great stories in there, and Gary Penrice and Phil, and one of the things is with Bobby Gould, I didn't know. I played in nearly every shirt number for Rovers and things like that, which I didn't know. The story that always comes out of Bob was when he used to take us down to Porter's Edge. Again, it was the Raghouse Rovers thing where we were given, I think it was something like £50 to go out and get a pair of trainers and a pair of boots. And it's a true story. So we all got half-decent trainers and a pair of moulded studs or something. But Ron Green, goalkeeper, thought, I'll keep the money. And he came back with the daps he used to wear in school. Don't know where he got them from. They had laces on, so they were little plimp soles with laces on. So he must have paid about £1 for them. And I can always remember we went running along the front there and all up around the golf course and come back. We were all changed. ready to go. And Ron, you can see this person just coming along. He could hardly walk, where he had blisters and everything all over his feet. And in the end, like, he got a massive round of applause where he just came back in, and it was like, oh my God, that was Ron. And then somebody gave him some milk, and he went to open it. It just opened all over him. Maybe he was that exhausted. So I think they made him go out and buy some trainers after that.
So what stands out from your time at Rovers? I mean, move on. We should talk about Liverpool as well, but what stands out from your time with Rovers?
I think the playing at Eastfield, I mean, there's pictures I've showed you in the scrapbook that you'll put on there later on. At Eastfield was a big thing. Do you know what I mean? But it seemed a massive ground to us because it was never full when we played. And I can remember some of the games there we played. The FA Cup game against Leicester, I can always remember, stands out when we beat them 3-1. They were First Division then, which is Premiership now. That one stands out because Trevor Morgan scored 2, I think, and he actually lost his contact lens and went back in. He got his contact lens, come back on and carried on playing. Obviously, the Gloucester Cup, first game I played when I was still working in scored, managed to score in that one. But I would say the whole thing, when doing the book, is just the camaraderie between everybody. Bristol City fans would disagree, but there is only one family club in Bristol, and I know that for a fact. We've been to Bristol City's ground, got barricaded in the players' lounge where we beat them that one day on New Year's Day, and you know, it's just that thing. No, but it's just that thing. Do you know what I mean? You just think, why would you do that? So it's just been a family club. I mean, they always make you welcome. Every time I've been down the ground since, everybody like yourself makes everybody welcome. And I'm glad they're doing the Former Players Association now, because you meet up with some of the guys that you haven't seen for ages and you forget all about. And that's the good thing about writing the book. They all come back into your life as friends. Right, yeah. And you know, but Bob, he got us all together and he used to have a laugh at us. And again, a great manager for getting players out of non-league and getting the best out of them. And a bit sad when he left. Everybody said I should have gone to Wimbledon with him, but I don't know how that worked out. But it was just a bit of sadness that he left when he did. But financially, I think it was the best thing for him and the club. So, but I think he sold quite a few of the players on for a lot of money. Did a good job.
Yeah. I mean, we should talk about Liverpool. Kenny Dalglish phoned you up. You thought it was a joke, and you moved to Liverpool. And you sound in the book. It sounds as though you're a little bit not out of your depth, but you're a bit lonely at times.
Yeah. I've always been one of the sort of lads, or mostly organising all the stuff to go out to make sure you're always around people and you're always doing stuff. And I think going there was literally, what have I done when I was in the hotel? Bearing in mind you're sat in a hotel room just looking at 4 walls.
And it was Liverpool or Torquay, wasn't it?
Yeah, which Liverpool won the league and Torquay finished second from, but he stayed up by one place, I think it was. So that would have been going backwards. And then that's the surreal thing about it. It doesn't really make sense. Did
you have to pinch yourself at times?
Yeah, and that's the thing I said to people is, it happened once at Mangotsfield where people picked me up for whatever reason, and it happened again. So you can't be lucky twice like that. So you must be doing something right. And I've always said after, when I managed, just do it, give 100% every game, and you never know where it can take you. Look at me for an example. And the funny thing was when I left to go, Andy Rees came with me,
that's really funny.
Yeah, and he's sort of driving me up, saying, "Where are we going?" I said, "I'm going to sign for Liverpool." And he still didn't believe me. We were going on to see some people in Yorkshire, and he kept saying, "Come on, don't mess around, where are we going?" And I said, "Wait and see." So we changed it, Sandbach, the services. And we got changed, put our suits on. He said, "We genuinely going in?" I said, "Yeah." And he didn't believe it until we drove in the gates. And he went, "We're actually at Liverpool now." And Andy being Andy, Kenny comes out, and it was just, it's a surreal thing. You think back now, it was Kenny Dalglish, but it was, "How are you, lads?" And, he come out and shut your hands and everything. Andy's looking like, "Times I can't believe we're here," and sort of stuff like that. And then I had the funny medical, which was, literally just bent over, check your ankles and do this, do that. Not like the old days, like the new ones now, and just sign the thing in.
That was it.
I'll see you. He gave me a date to come back for pre-season.
Well, Reece tried to get signed on.
Reece was doing that while I was having my medical. Yeah, saying to Kenny, "Don't you want a central midfield player?" And Reece says in the book, he said, "Oh well, hang on, are you better than Steve McMahon or Jan Mulby or Ronnie Whelan?" He said, "No, but I could be." That's Andy for you.
But you had to wait a long time for running the side, didn't you? Up there, you have to be very, very patient.
I think that was the way they've always done it. Jeff Twentyman Senior used to sign Phil Neal, Alan Kennedy, all the Terry McDermott and people like that. And they used to make, I don't know whether it was like, we're going to bring you back down to earth and making you wait and you do it our way, or whether it was just, they was that good, which they were. that you just got given a chance. I would like to see how it would work nowadays with the massive squads, because as a young kiddie, I mean, you probably got some lads here who go along every week and probably don't play any games. It must be sort of soul destroying. At least we had a chance of playing some match football in the reserves or the A team, as I put in there.
Well, you had a successful side. You won the Central League Championship.
We won the Central League with lads that all went on to have good careers in the First Division. Jimmy Magilton played for Ireland, captain Northern Ireland. You know, Alex Watson went on and had a good career, and we had a Dodden Hutchison, Jamie
Gary Ablett as well, I think.
Gary Ablett was in the reserves with us, but in them days the older guys would play, and the same at Rovers. You know, and I go back to that and I say that's what's, in my opinion, that's what's missing. Like, you've got a squad here of 25, whatever, 20 players. The other night the team played. If they would have had a reserve game the next day and half of them played again to get match fit, I still laugh to this day. How can a player be match fit when he hasn't even played? You know what I mean? They just throw him in, don't they, nowadays? Yeah. So it must be.
Well, what comes through is, again, the friendships you forged there. Mike Marsh comes through as your best mate there.
Yeah. But and again, because we had similar backgrounds, I think, for non-league, he was a cocky little lad. And one thing I would say is, and any kids watching this is, always stand up for yourself. Don't, you know, whatever you got to do to stand up for yourself. Don't. If people see a weakness in you, especially some of these older players, that Alan Anson and people like that, they'll pick on you. But luckily, I could stand up for myself. Marshy could, not as in physically, but with a quick back and, you know, that sort of thing. Is education and a bit of nous, we call it. But they were exactly the same. Like Marshy was the same. He wouldn't take any messing from any of them. So it was like, and then they give you a bit of respect, and you earn the respect, obviously. But it was, you know, we forced it. Steve McManaman, I still chat to him quite regularly. Brilliant lad. But the others sort of drift away again. Yeah.
But during your time away from Rovers, you actually played against Rovers.
Twice.
You played for Swindon against Rovers, you played for Liverpool.
I had a nightmare in both games. Park. I had a nightmare in both games. At Twerton, it was hilarious because every time I got the ball, they were expecting me to do whoosh, which is what they used to say, what I was told to do, by the way. That came about because I was told we used to get it out. And bearing in mind, in them days, pattern of play was you all stand in one thing and you roll it out to the fullbacks and they smash it as far as you can down the line. And then you start again and then you smash it down the line. It was like being robots. I can honestly say, I can't even remember in the games, and we used to have a laugh about it, I can't remember in the games ever the goalkeeper rolling it out to us, mate, because we used to just get it, didn't they, in the old days, bounce it twice and kick it down the Devon. So why we did all that, I don't know, and that was the whoosh thing. So every time I got it, even in the warm-up, because one of the lads was said, all the Rovers lads would go, oh, and then I'd pass it short, and they go, boo, they started booing then. So when I went back in, Graham said, why is everybody booing you? I said, well, no, and I explained to him about the whoosh bit, and he went, oh, right. And one of the things I regret is, it actually plays on your mind when you're playing, and sometimes when you should actually whoosh it, you don't. And I give a goal away against Arsenal. Ian Wright was playing it, and I should have whooshed it, but I didn't because I was playing at Anfield and I thought I'd have a touch. A la Lovren when he first went in, and I got caught out and they went through and scored. I never did it again. I just launched it. So sometimes you just got to play your own game. But I had a nightmare. But bearing in mind, I was working Devon and Carl Saunders. They were two. I mean, they were on fire at the time, and it was really difficult. I think it was me and Mark Wright. I mean, England International struggled against them as well, especially at Twerton.
Well, from a field in Bristol, or any field in Bristol, you played on some really good fields afterwards, because you played in Europe and you played at Wembley. Yeah,
Wembley was a Charity Shield, the first game of the back pass rule when that changed, which was fun. So we, for whatever reason, Graham came up with, not only is the back pass rule changed, we're going to play free at the back, which we'd never done, never practiced or anything. So me, Mark Wright and David Burrows, I think, chucked straight in on Wembley against Eric Cantona, and I went, oh, this will be fun. And I always joke to say I got him a move, really, because he scored 3, I think. But if you watch the footage back, everybody's all over the shot. We're 6s and 7s, Ronnie Whelan's turning his back and falling over, and just, he was absolutely brilliant. I mean, when you think about it and what he went on to do afterwards, how Liverpool or something like that didn't sign him, I don't know, especially after that game. I thought, said to Graham, he should have gone and got him, because Graham came down the other week. I said you should have bought him then. But it's a fine line. It's difficult. I went up to the playoff final and watched the lads up there, and you see how they were playing, and you think what I always said, but you could take one of the Rovers lads out and put him in the Liverpool team, and without knowing who he was, and you wouldn't know a lot of difference, 1 or 2.
Your career came to an end through injury, basically.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I had, you know, like on Twitter, you get some idiots on there, oh, he was rubbish. And when I put the bit in the Times about Lovren and Matip and that, you got some comments, who's that and who's this rubbish? He played 59 games. I was like, well, read Graham's bit, read Kenny's bit. He would have played more if he was fit. So Yeah, and a funny one, just a back injury from wear and tear. We worked it out at the end. Sacroiliitis, the sacro joint, whatever. But, you know, got no regrets really.
You say it can't be regrets from
no.
the way the journey you went on.
One of the funny stories, I just remembered that. One of the funny stories about the Rovers, you saying about the Rovers thing. When I went for 20 grand. And when I finished, I got a call from Vernon Stokes. And I think he's going to say, "Oh, unlucky Nick." And we always used to have a laugh together and all that. And he used to ring, "Oh, you old bugger, are you?" And I said, "Yeah." And I thought he was going to say, "Oh, sorry about that." He said, "Couldn't you have played another game? We'd have got another 10 grand." Oh, cheers, Vernon. You always remember that conversation. Thanks, Vernon.
You had a testimonial down at Yeovil,
yeah, which is a shame.
wasn't it?
It was at Yeovil. Yeah,
that was
obviously you had
because of the
fixtures.
pitch
Yeah,
problem,
the pitch and that. Yeah, and the team they brought down there was Robbie Fowler, McManaman played, Collymore, Ruddock.
Yeah.
I mean, they were nearly all internationals, I think, played in that game. And I think, what's his name played? Taylor played for Yeovil against, did he get a move? Centre forward?
Gareth
Taylor,
yeah.
He played against him, or he got
I think there were 3 or 4 guested for Yeovil.
Yeah. To get a move, I think.
Yeah,
I got half a move.
yeah.
They still haven't paid me any money. But yeah, it was great. I mean, fantastic.
I mean, you keep in touch. Are you connected with the Liverpool Former Players Association? You organise a lot of events in this
I did
area.
it myself. The reason for that is the 5 Times organisation is for the higher end, I would say. You know, and the money they charge is ridiculous. You know, and I set up myself because Alan Kennedy got me to go on a few of the trips when I first finished, and they were brilliant. Everybody used to go to Norway. They'd all get the same money. Mike Marsh used to go, and all the older guys and stuff. And we used to have the same laugh you had playing like that. Then it all changed, and they started doing different things and started looking after individual players rather than everybody, in my opinion. So I knew Alan Kennedy and I started doing them with them. I actually had a match. Bristol United played a Liverpool 11. That must have been up at Yate, 2003, something like that. And we had Bruce played and Phil Neal. You know, and it was a really good side. And the money was okay. Do you know what I mean? They were brilliant, the money they paid. And we brought them down. And I also had one at Winterbourne and brought them all down. You try and do that now, and it's like triple the money, and you go, hang on, I need to get 100,000 to get the money back. So that's all changed in that. So I just put them on, bring down players that I think people would like to see. We've got Barnsley coming down, who's the best player I played with by a country mile. He's coming down on the 10th of November. And I always invite the Rovers lads. Paul Randall's been to a few. Christian McLean always comes, he's free. Jonah's been to a few. Ian Westham came to Graham Souness and that, Boris. And Gary Smart came. You know, so we all have a mix in. They're all football people. They all know what's going on.
I think it's great you keep in touch with so many from both clubs, but it's all in the book, isn't it? And you've got a book signing at the Rovers next Saturday. Yeah, Saturday 28th before the game. I've never done, and again, I'm not expecting people to come down and queue up for hours signing me. So it's not that. I mean, that's what I haven't done it for. That. It's not going to be a bestseller. I'm not a massive star. But you've got a story to tell. I've got a great story, and I want the non-league people to realise that as well. And again, the Rovers side of it, the people coming down, touch wood, because I know what Gary Penrose is like, are people that have got a big contribution to the book from me. So I'm hoping they'll sit on the table with me and sign. It's Gary Penrose, who we both play for Manchester and both play at the Rovers. And without Gary, I say in the book, I might not have gone to Liverpool, because him playing so well, Liverpool were watching Gary at the time. Don't know why they didn't sign him. I can remember chatting to Kenny probably on a trip or something, and said he was just that nearly 99.9% sure of signing him, but whether it was the pace or whatever, I don't know. But one of the funny stories, I just got to tell you this one. They went down and watched Devon playing again, and Penny was playing up front, and he said, "Who's the big black lad up front?" He said, "Because I've never seen it before." The goalkeeper kicked it out, and Devon went to flick it on, and he headed it straight back to the keeper into his hands. I've never seen that before in a game, so it must have been at a small ground or something, but I can always remember saying that, instead of flicking it on. And then Kenny, but he played in the Premiership afterwards, didn't he? He played for QPR. And I played against him again. But so I've got Gary coming down. Phil Prunello I've known from school days, is a great lad. And Reece, because Reece is obviously involved in it. The signing. And Steve White's coming down. And Tim Parkin, which is... Timmy Parkin, I've upset Jeff twice. I'm sorry about that, Jeff. But I played with Tim when I first went there. So Timmy was an old-fashioned type centre-half, as we know. Yeah. Used to properly edit and kick it, so I don't know why he didn't get called Whoosh instead of me. But Tim is coming down as well, all the way from Hull, I think he lives now, so he's going to come down as well. And there'll be the lads over in the Former Players Association, so we'll probably try and swap across and
do some stuff for people if they want to do it. But if anybody's got a book in the meantime that they've already bought, they bring it down and get a penny in that because they're in there. You know? It's a good read and a good laugh.
It's a great story, and it's not like your stereotypical autobiography. It's just something totally different, and you tell it how it is, and I think it's an enjoyable read. I'm sure people will love reading it.
Well, the best thing people can realise about it is when Bobby Gould asked me, what have you ever won? I said the ID trophy at British Aerospace, so that's about the sum of it.
And we've got that in the scrapbook, which we'll show on camera.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right, thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Keith.